Hello, fellow Factorians, and welcome back to my Pyanodons challenge run. During the last episode, I had another science failure because I was out of logs, so I made more logs. I was also going to have more power problems if the logs didn't cause me issues, so I made shale oil out of kerogen, and the shale oil fed my rubber system with more aromatics, as well as my hungry base with a lot more steam. So it turns out all of that worked. And science ran well during this period. The curse of the failures really did come in threes, and I'm out of the woods now, hopefully. During the hands-off period, I worked on laying out blueprints for my target during this episode. I want to make laboratory instruments. The research is about to pop in a minute, and it's going to be really useful for me to get started on that as the first ingredient in logistics science of the future. I want to be able to pile up a bunch of it while I wait to get to logistics science itself. It'll be useful to use some of the byproducts up in my base. I also decorated a little bit, found a few errors to address, and overall, I think I'm ready to jump into the main episode. See you there. So let's get right into it. First, I'm going to do fixes as usual. So let's jump into hands-off mode. But yeah, it's real nice to not have a failure again. So first fix. It's right up here. When I was messing with setting up something, I contaminated this belt. So I ended up having iron on both sides accidentally. Well, that was easy to fix. Next item. Down here I was missing an underground belt, so my moss was not flowing as well as it could have, so Pi 1 was a little bit under my target. Okay, and that fixes that. Also, I just got the laboratory equipment research, so we can start on that as soon as I'm done fixing things. This needed to be a bi-directional set of valves, so I need to switch this up to top-up. Alright, so, yeah, latex was not running the best, and my rubber wasn't running. Fortunately, I did have enough latex, but, yeah, it could have been bad. Next item is that I want to, even when I'm not running rubber, when I'm low on latex, I still want to send aromatics, so yes, another bidirectional valve. I also want to shut off these electrolyzers. I'll be doing something with them soon, but for now I just want them to be turned off. Quite a few of my caravan outposts here are full. As you can see, the inserters are not running, which is good because it means my ash is not being completely consumed. I also want to turn that off for now. I'm going to be doing something with hydrogen soon. In fact, that is what I'm going to be doing next. I want to make laboratory instruments, which is what you get with the laboratory equipment. So I need to start making borax and process it into boron trioxide, I think it is. So I'm going to collect some buildings and be back after I've got them. So here's where I'm going to make boron trioxide. The process is just a few steps. First, you have to mine borax. Borax just comes out of the ground from crystal miners, except these crystal miners need syngas to run. So yeah, crystal miners, turns out, can be fed liquid fuel. Well, I guess it's not liquid fuel so much as a mining agent. Alright, looks like I didn't bring quite enough. That's also okay because I don't actually need that many. It was more for future borax needs because I'm going to be using a very, very small amount of stuff. It is funny how Pi is like, oh, okay, well, you need either hundreds of alien life buildings that cover, like a square kilometer of space, or just like 2 buildings that make enough to fully fund all your science. No in between. I guess there are some in-betweens, but they're mostly like metal processing stuff. It's either feast or famine with pi, usually. Anyway, after that little dissertation, you get borax, you mine it up, then you wash it, because it's dirty. You take raw borax, you turn it into regular borax, and you get some muddy sludge with it, and I've got a muddy sludge line right here, so really easy to get rid of. I mean, it's even kind of useful to make some muddy sludge, because then I don't have to make it otherwise. So where is my muddy sludge line? Yeah, it's right here. Okay, and borax is already getting made. So I take this borax, and for the moment, it's just going to be used in an electrolyzer to make diborane. To make diborane, I need hydrogen, and hydrogen is kind of the problem/opportunity that I have here. It's a problem in the sense that I don't make it other than as a byproduct from electrolyzing water or saline water to make oxygen or chlorine. But that's also kind of an opportunity, because now I can just use my excess hydrogen for something useful rather than just throwing it away and burning it. And it doesn't even burn that well. You don't get that much energy from it. So yeah, I need to get some hydrogen up here, and then I can work on the next steps. To get hydrogen up there, I'm moving that electrolyzer build up to here. And I'm also going to be putting the excess hydrogen from chlorine making into this as well. Okay, and that's why I'm going to go grab those electrolyzers soon, as well as to try and salvage the hydrogen that is down in those tanks. While I'm here, I'm setting up voiding of biocrud. So this this inserter is just going to take the biomass out of the composter whenever my biocrud is over a certain limit, and that's going to help me get rid of this outpost of biocrud. Also, I need to set this to equal to 0, because I don't want this wood to be inserted unless I'm basically out of biocrud to compost. Alright, so that is going to go well. Let me hook up the hydrogen line, because yeah, I don't want it to be voided anymore. I want it to go up to the boron trioxide build. Alright, now I can change this over. I'll set it up to 80 or something like that, and only void if I'm getting topped up here. Now I want to go salvage that hydrogen that I had up there. Did I finish the work, actually? I think so. I think hydrogen is all I need. More hydrogen. Oh, and a caravan, of course, to carry away the boron trioxide, but I need a destination first, too. So we'll take care of all of that in just a jiffy. I want to make my first fluid caravan. Actually, I need to make a tank first. So fluid caravans are, I think, a recent addition. At least they weren't there when I played Pi before. So you basically just have a caravan that carries a tank on his back instead of a backpack. And a new kind of outpost where that act as a tank instead of a chest. So I'm going to make one of you. Yeah, just one of you. And this guy will be useful for other tasks besides this. For instance, if I ever have to haul something that can't go into barrels, or I don't want to put into a pipe and is in small quantities, like maybe molten salt. But yeah, otherwise, I'm mostly going to be using... I'm not going to use fluid caravans because the pipe network is so much more efficient. Speaking of, I need to make 2 caravan fluid outposts, so yeah, let me do that. Alright, now that caravan's going to get to work, get some food, fill himself up with some hydrogen, and I will be cleaning up this build while he does it. Oh, that reminds me, another thing that I need to fix out here is, this is overflow now. Set it to, what I need to fix is I want to stop mining zinc. It's just not useful anymore. I want to stop buffering it. But I actually need to send zinc through because this is how I get plastic up here. So I need to keep a line open. So I'm going to adjust this and yeah, set up an aromatics line that skips the zinc. And then I'll wait, do that while the caravan is busy. Alright, now the caravan will come empty themselves out here, and I can move on to the next step while all that hydrogen gets used up. And I better make sure I don't overfill my system, because I don't want to... Let's make sure that I don't accidentally void the hydrogen that I've been working for. Alright. Yeah, it's on his way still. You can see, by the way, my rubber chests are nearly full. I made a lot, which is fantastic, as I can use it to make some long-handled inserters now, for instance. But yeah, I'm going to be diverting them to do other things shortly. And the thing I'm going to be doing with them is right here. So, I want to make laboratory instruments, and I want to stockpile a few of them. I need to rehook my electric grid up, because that disconnected things, so let me fix that first. Okay. Yep, that could have been problematic, but as I was saying, I want to make laboratory instruments, and I want to stockpile them. This is going to be in lieu of stockpiling more rubber, because laboratory instruments is where all my rubber is going to end up going anyway, so I want to use the fact that it's denser, and also it's going to be useful to have it for logistics science when I get there, because it's an ingredient in logistics science. And just like when I was stockpiling petri dishes that let me kind of get over the hump in a difficult period where hot air was hard to make. Rather, I didn't have hot air, so the glassware was more difficult to make. I'm going to do the same thing with laboratory equipment, essentially. It's going to let me kind of not skip, but give me a leg up toward getting some technologies that are useful right at the start of logistics science. So between the fact that it lets me kind of buffer rubber more efficiently, and that it's going to do that for me when I hit the logistics science, and there are some really nice technologies very, very early in logistics science, so definitely looking forward to getting those. I think it's a smart idea for me to put some in a chest, even though buffering has been, let's say, controversial sometimes. So, laboratory instruments. I need to make optical sets. This is where the boron trioxide is. Optical sets are some sort of borosilicate glass, which makes sense because that goes into lab equipment a lot. I need to put those into, let's see, the lab instruments. Here we are. Which has 4 ingredients. Optical sets, which is why we made that boron trioxide. Rubber, of course, I'm talking about that a lot. Small parts, and an equipment chassis. The equipment chassis we're going to make right here. And the reason I stuck this in such a weird place, and I'm using my bootstrap base to make this stuff, is because actually I've got basically all the ingredients right here, right now, and it's really convenient for me to be able to use this spot. So the equipment chassis just needs simple circuits, iron antimony special alloy, and tin plate. Tin plate might actually be a problem. I might have to double up my tin build eventually. But for right now, I don't think this build is going to run full tilt regardless. So I need to redirect and set some caravans to come up here. There's my rubber caravan. I'm going to change where it goes. It's just going to serve this build now. I might have to set up a depot for it eventually, but for now, yeah, that's his job now, delivering rubber here. I'll get some simple circuits coming in here pretty soon. Anyway, this outpost is going to be set up with the right stuff so that, for instance, the equipment chassis can be passed through here. The small parts, when I get them delivered, take up some space, and the rubber takes the rest. Oh, and the boron trioxide, of course. So let me set up those caravans, and then I will be right back. Alright, and assuming I've done everything correctly, now I should have lab instruments being made. Of course, I will not have a full caravan's worth of... Okay, got acetylene on the line. That would make sense. Contaminated by accident. Okay, now I'll have more getting made. Alright, so as I was saying, I don't have a full load of the boron stuff. Sick of saying that word, I guess. So I won't. Yeah, it won't matter for a little bit. I'll just wait till I've got some in that outpost, and then I'll send the caravan early. Now I want to make gearboxes. Gearboxes are fantastic. They're an intermediate for making bots, for making locomotives, for making mechanical parts, which is kind of the next step in the evolution of machine parts. They're like the small parts of the next level of Pyanodons, although they're way, way, way more expensive and difficult to make than small parts are. So yeah, that's why I'm going to make gearboxes right here. I'm glad I took the time to figure out a good location, because turns out I've got all the stuff to make them right here. I just need to set up the belts correctly, and then I'll get those going. The gearboxes take duralumin, titanium, steel, and shafts, and the fish oil that we've been making. So yeah, now that should be going, and I will grab a whole bunch of those. They build slowly, and they're really useful, so again, I'm going to stockpile a bunch of them. I'd like, a few hundred to make bots with, a few hundred to make locomotives with, a few hundred to make automated factories with, which is a weird thing, by the way. Automated factories are just assemblers that don't take a solid fuel, so more convenient. They're bigger, so that's a downside and a plus in some sense, because the one side, they're just bigger, take up more space, but also they give you a lot more room to point inserters at, so that's useful. They're way more expensive. Look at the ingredient list, but also they just sound like you finished the game, because you've made an automated factory. You're done, right? All right, that was a dumb joke, but I liked it anyway. So gearboxes, and speaking of gearboxes, does that let me make my first locomotive? I think it does. Need shafts, brakes, and intermetallics, all of which I can grab right now. Let me grab a small amount. I thought I was going to do the reveal right then, but then I was like, oh, I also still need some more intermetallics. And there we go. Now I've got my personal train. Which, yeah, that's the only thing that can exist on my train network, since I don't have signals yet. But I'm going to put him in a box right away, because for now I'm not going to use him, but pretty soon I will. I'll need to drag a train line up here. Next thing I want to do is set up an improved liquid fuel voiding system. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that just a second. So I want to start using all those carriage on lines, but I'm nervous about making too much steam. This is one way for me to kind of address that. What I'm going to do here is basically if this tank, okay, I'm measuring the coke oven gas in this tank over here. If it starts getting too high, like over 80%, I'm going to say, like into my steam system, no matter what, push the steam you've got, and that will let these oil burners start voiding coke oven gas. But that's a problem because normally, like if I start pushing steam in here and top it up, then all the other things that are voiding steam here will be wrecked. So in addition to that, I'm going to add a pump here that is going to work whenever my steam is over 80%, so above the kind of cutoff line that I normally add steam to it, and then also just add a buttload of steam engines. And yeah, so that's the system that I'm going to use now, just to make sure that if I'm ever in a situation where coke oven gas is getting overfilled, this will go ahead and dump out this into a lot of steam engines. And also, as my base grows and needs more power, until I get power plants, maybe I will just need all these steam engines. Plus, Pyanodons is really nice about giving you lots and lots and lots and lots of recipes that use steam engines. So, like when I delete these eventually, if I need to, it's not like they'll go to waste. I'm going to finish this up and be right back. All right, and that's a bunch of additional steam engines. It's kind of good that my base right now, no matter what, wind never supplies enough power, so the steam engines can always work to void stuff. Let's look at how we're doing with my boron trioxide. I mean, it's getting made, and my hydrogen buffer is not completely out yet, although this caravan is probably doesn't have anything to do now. All right, go ahead and finish voiding out because that outpost is empty. Oh, by the way, I started labeling all of my caravan depots because I was getting confused sometimes myself which one was which when I didn't have ingredients inside it. All right, so next job is that I need to clear out my task list first. I fix the contaminated copper belt in the simple circuits. I fix the biocrud. I reconnect. Oh, I didn't do this yet. Let's do that. I cut this circuit wire that was connected to my landfill chest, which was telling me when to stop making stone entirely just to make landfill, because it's getting close to 10K. Now this caravan is got no place to go, so I'll go collect him. I won't need a fluid caravan for a while, so good to get put him in a box and let him rest until I do. Let's clear out the rest of my task list. I fixed the missing underground in Pi 1. Select you. Need to do these two. And I added the improvements for coke oven gas voiding. This one I can worry about later. So next I'm going to do two things. First, I need to add a few more barrels to this cocoon build. Occasionally, can't spot one right now, but occasionally one of, like, this cocoon reproductive center out of the 4 doesn't get barrels because they make it past this elbow here. So if I just add a few more barrels to each of them, that'll help that out. And then since I have 25 minutes, remember this time counts up double speed, I'm going to start working on another cocoon build because I would like to get to Rolesias by next technology. I'll make cDNA. Yeah, maybe I'll just end it early because cDNA is going to be a whole thing, and I'll just target getting as much done as I can with that cocoon build and end it when I can. So I'm going to collect materials and get going on that. I also need to clean up a moss build that is down there. be back after I've gotten some work in on that. Okay, definitely making some progress here. Let's check on the base real quick. I was looking at Pi 1 and noticing, yeah, it's okay, but here I'm missing a belt to take some simple circuits into this. I'm also still collecting a lot of simple circuits, so that's okay. That's not like it jammed that build up. Also, I guess I can send this caravan over. Probably has, yeah, he's got some borosilicate, or the boron trioxide, so we can get our lab equipment going. I do think actually I'm going to push this longer. While cDNA is a little bit of an ordeal to make, not really actually, it should be fine. It doesn't actually give me anything until I get to making Ralesia, so maybe I'll just keep going for a bit. It's not like you'll experience that much time of it, but yeah, maybe I'll just finish off this build while I'm in the process. Going to lower the totals that I'm limiting my Vrauk Mark II production to, because I have already taken some out of the build now, so I don't need quite as much of a bank as I did before, so just dropping this down slightly. Check how our lab equipment is going. It's not, because well, it's going, but I don't have simple circuits. So I might just go ahead and dump this batch that I've saved. I've got another chest full, and I'm never burning through 2 chests worth of simple circuits at the moment. I had done it because it looked like over several episodes I was starting to run short. But for now, let's burn these up. And I will resume buffering them later. Alright, cool. Also, I spotted that I had a little more contamination on the line here. Let's look at how other things are going, though. How's my power system? You are pretty low on steam. Am I in a wind lull? No. Might turn on a third line of carriage over here to help deal with that. Let's see. Yeah, let's just do that one. This one is going less than full rate. That's odd. Is okay. Some of my not getting steam up here. That is weird. Why am I not getting steam through here? This should be topping up fast enough. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to deal with steam issues and be right back. Alright, had to do a little bit of bespoke wiring here because I noticed that I needed a latch on the coke oven gas inputs because yeah, they were flickering and therefore steam was being created slowly, but I had a whole bunch of syngas ready to go and fill up these oil burners. So hopefully that has addressed some of the issues that were being caused by my steam system. Yeah, these latches are super useful, but they also are a little bit tricky to set up, and I cannot wait at all for combinators, which is why we're heading for them as fast as we possibly can. In fact, let's add that combinator tech at the end if we can. Machine components, queued up. Combinators, queued up. Finally, they're within sight. Among the technologies that I've really been craving, that and some train stuff, and we'll be able to refashion this base completely, which will be just fantastic. How's my hydrogen? My hydrogen is full. And it's because... no, actually this is fine. It's just being made slowly. I think I'm actually okay with hydrogen blocking these things. Sure, it means that the antimony oxide will be made a little bit slower, but fish will keep going. I think the fish empties out so rarely that it's not going to be a problem. I could hook up, voiding for the hydrogen, but I think I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go back to work on finishing out this build. I need a few more moss farms, and I want to fill in those sap trees. So be back soon. Alright, so I've got my sap trees and moss plants finished, and that giant cocoon build is all done. Still a little bit of sap to make more sap tree modules with, because I'll need more in the future. So yeah, this huge thing all finished up, and finish that out. Now let's see where power is. This tank is low. Full gas, not too... coke oven gas is not overfilled, at least. And my geothermal is recovering, but I think it's recovering slowly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn on that last line of kerosene. This whole build will be running now, and all of these oil burners should be kicking on once in a while, especially once the whole build runs. So in addition to that, I want to turn off half of these polybutadiene generators. Because now what'll happen is I'll have tons of aromatics, and then as soon as I get more latex in, this thing will make 2,000 steam per second. These each make more than 8 oil burners worth of steam apiece, and yeah, basically it will be enough to whipsaw the power system, or at least I think so. I won't actually make latex to keep things going at that rate anyway, so I think it's better if I try and aim for a steady state with this build and then kind of build up to it. I think it maybe is a little weird that I'm having power problems, or at least it seems like it, but I'm up to 2.7 gigawatts, and I could maintain my base at 1.8 gigawatts just from a combination of wind and geothermal. So then every 100 megawatts past that has to be, like it's all coming from steam engines. And yeah, so even though it seems like I'm only adding 1 or 200 extra megawatts per session, that is a significant fraction above what I had to provide with steam engines before. And that's why all of these are running right now. And yeah, the steam tank is not catching up still. So I've got one more thing I'm going to do to address my power problems, as well as hoping that the coke oven gas stuff that I set up actually works and means that coke oven gas isn't a problem even if I do produce too much steam. And I'm going to set up one more geothermal plant. I've got one, let's see, right here that's pretty easy to access as long as I can get through these forests. And yeah, I'm going to do that and be back shortly. I will even ride my new train out to the destination. So, yeah. This works, but go down the other line. I guess, okay. This makes sense, I think. I'll have to add some roundabouts in the future if I want to be able to use this route without being double-headed. So, yeah. This is faster than walking, I must admit, but I've gotten so used to running on the reinforced concrete. Anyway, I guess to add to the journey, I will also drive out there. And yeah, I'll be back after I've set that up. Alright, so it's going to take a minute for this to heat up, even once I get the treated wood caravan to run out there and deliver some. So I'm going to do a couple of quick tasks that I can think of, like cleaning up miners, and there's a couple of caravan outposts that I no longer need. Meanwhile, I'll watch my power situation. So, like, those miners can go away, and in fact, this one can just load onto that side of the belt. There we go. That's looking a little better. This caravan outpost here for small parts doesn't need to exist anymore because all of the small parts are going to feed the build that is right here for automation. So I can recover this caravan after stealing all of his cargo. One of these ash outposts can also go away because I'm no longer getting anywhere near as much ash as I was in this area, and I can just have only one of them actually busy. It also occurs to me that I could just need more oil burners here as well. So I'm going to set those up because, yeah, now I'm no longer... well, I've got more liquid fuels in the system because I'm making more gasoline. So I'm going to set up a few more oil burners and be back shortly. Notice my hydrogen is full, but I don't actually want to void it. Instead, I'm going to put some tanks down to make sure that this can run for a bit more. I don't think I'm going to continuously make that much hydrogen. This is going to run a lot now because I'm making the gearboxes and I took some intermetallics from over here, but that's going to quiet down eventually. And I am just I'm going to want to have extra hydrogen next session because I'm definitely going to get to Rolesias if I don't have a breakage. So I need hydrogen for those. So I'm going to just store it away, but those tanks will go away eventually. What won't go away is now I'm making a lot more gasoline, so I'm going to put in a little bit more gasoline storage so that this doesn't fill up and empty too quickly, and these latches keep working well. All right. Hopefully my power system problems will be tamed. Yeah, I got a delivery over here, and these regenerative heat exchangers are running, so now I'm up to almost a gigawatt of geothermal. Let's look at... yeah, these tanks are still not filling up. Concerning. But how about this tank? Still not filling up. This tank is at least... Okay. Maybe I need more oil burners. Yeah, I'm installing even more oil burners, although it doesn't look like I have enough liquid fuel to run my system, so I might have to do something to make sure that I have more liquid fuel. So I don't know off the top of my head what that is, other than maybe... Yeah, okay, I have one idea. I will take these gas furnaces away and start going back to my previous system of using stone furnaces here. So that is one way to do it, and it'll make some more ash, which will be great. So I don't hate the idea. Let's just let it run down, and yeah, then I'll replace this. So that'll help because those 16 gas furnaces were using up 96 megawatts of liquid fuel. And yeah, now I'm in a low liquid fuel situation. So if that doesn't do the trick, I am out of ideas. Yeah, I really should be okay with power after all those tweaks. I think I'm going to be okay. So for a couple of reasons. One, my power demand is going to go down pretty soon. Actually, let's just jump into hands-on mode before I start lecturing. So my power demand is going to go down. This build will mostly shut down as soon as my mall fills up with materials, and you know that won't take more than a few minutes. My tanks here, which are kind of like my best measure of how much of a problem I'm in, they're not decaying, and they may actually be going up slightly. Yeah, when you're up below 7 steam per second, they're recovering. Sorry, the 7 steam per second that you can see at the bottom right corner if you look at what the consumption of each of these steam engines is. And then I'm going to get a load of latex. Oh, I already have a load of latex. Good, so this is going to start recovering my steam soon. And because I've limited the amount of polybutadiene users, this should now be basically continuous. I think my base can provide enough latex to run 2 latex per second here, and then 3.6 for the Pi 1 builds, and even have a little bit left over to buffer. So later on, if I see that things are okay, I might turn on one more of these multi-purpose crackers. So yeah. Hopefully, we're going to get through to Rolesias the next time. None of these technologies, because this is alien life stuff, I'm going to have to boot them all up. So these 2 technologies aren't really going to use power for a while. And in fact, I'm not going to even really be running them until I get to logistics, so I can do the builds without causing problems, other than, like the massive expenses in raw materials. And then I might switch, have to delay the circuit network technology to go to power plants pretty soon. Because that's, let's see, where are biomass power plants? Yeah, basically only a couple of techs away past combinators. And that will also basically solve my entire power problem. But I didn't want to go there before I got my mall running and before I got my train circuits, because I kind of want to, other than maybe one more latex build, I kind of want to start using the train network from now on. So we'll be going there pretty soon. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I know it's been a marathon episode again. I didn't really intend it to be this one, but stuff happens. And as always, I will see you guys next time.